Welcome to the Journey to Forever podcast, where we discuss the highs and lows of life and love. Join us, your hosts, Flo and
Joe,
for a weekly recalculation of our roots as we navigate the twists and turns with candid conversation, comfort food, and laughter. Hey, welcome back, folks, to another episode of the Journey to Forever podcast. I'm your host, Flo, and I'm joined by my handsome co-host,
Joe.
Yes, in today's episode, we are discussing love languages as promised in our last episode. It's a topic that I find very, very interesting. But as usual, before we hit the road on the topic for today's episode, we do a little bit of reminiscing in a segment called What's Your Story? So, Joe, do you have a question for me, or do you want me to ask you first?
I have a question for you. What a story to share about doing something extraordinary special for your birthday?
Yes, it was my 33rd birthday, and one of my best friends, he knows who he is, because I'm sure he's listening to this podcast. He arranged like a fun day for us. So we started off doing ziplining. Now, ziplining is something that I always wanted to do because, yes, I do have a slight fear of heights. And ziplining was pretty new to Trinidad around that time. So I faced my fears and we flew over the trees down Back Reap area. It was loads of fun. I mean, I remember holding on to the first line and it's almost like, Flo, it's now or never. You just gotta do it. So that was fun. After that, we did a bit of a photo shoot. Yeah. And it was cool. Back then, the pictures were awesome because I had longer natural hair. It was just loads of fun. So it was pretty memorable for me. Yeah.
That's nice. I'm not much of a ziplining kind of guy. I prefer having my feet on the floor.
One day, perhaps I'll convince you to do it.
So, what's your question for me?
Oh, wow. We dodging that one, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Moving along. Since somebody is afraid of heights, got a story to share about forgetting something very important?
Oh, yes. I have something. Well, let's say I didn't forget anything. It was a New Year's night, and my cousin decided he's having a party. So we're like, okay, everybody said they'll cook and everybody brings a dish, one of those parties. So we did everything, everything was going, the night was going, it's early, that's around 8 p.m. Then when about 9, 10, I asked my cousin, so where is everybody? He proceeds to turn to me and say, shucks, I forget to invite people. I was like, what? So yes, he kept an New Year's night party and didn't invite anyone.
I think
we had leftovers for a very long while.
I think he just wanted to enjoy his food by himself. He just didn't want to tell you that.
Yes. He had a very nice night, yes. Minus the people. Yeah, so it ended up being like about 10 family members, and that's including the children. That was ridiculous. We still laugh at it to this day.
Right. Well, those were some lovely memories. So we'll move along to our key topic for today, which is love languages. So I don't want to just come on here and talk about the 5 love languages because I'm sure you've heard many of those before, but I'm just going to take a different approach to exploring this topic of love languages. So a little bit of history. I remember the first time the 5 love languages were brought to my attention, it was by a coworker, at that point in time, I was dating someone for about almost 2 years. And this was someone I was thinking it was going to be forever with. And I was just really frustrated. And a coworker said to me, well, what are your love languages? Maybe you all are just speaking, not talking to each other, expressing your love in the right love language. And I was like, what is that? And then he pointed me to the book. And that was the first time I came across it. And in reading it, I was like, oh, this makes so much sense. Because clearly I'm accustomed displaying my love in a particular way, but that may not necessarily be how that person wanted to be loved, and vice versa. So yeah, since then, I've made it a very important step in discussing that topic of love languages. Babe, you remember when I brought it up to you?
It was very new to me. Very new. First time I ever heard of it. So I was a novice. I understand it a bit more now. Still learning, but I understand it a bit more.
Me too. I'm still learning, still exploring. Yeah, and as we're talking about love languages and how we like to receive love and also how we express love, I think the first people that teach us how to love are our parents. So part of my exploration around that topic is really reflecting on how my parents demonstrated their love to me during my childhood. But I don't know if you want to go first. You want to talk about that?
Oh, well, I believe my both parents, they have relatively the same top two love languages. That'll be acts of service and that words of affirmation. More so my mother when it comes to words of affirmation. But my parents would give their last to anyone who was less fortunate than us.
Okay.
They would do with what we have and share it with someone else. They did not care, what will happen 5 days down the road.
Mm-hmm.
They say that will see for itself. But the problem is now with this person, so we can see about this person now. So I guess that is the top one they had in common. So I guess that's why they probably were together until literally death did they part.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the number one thing with them, with me, that is.
Okay. I hear that, and that's a good way to live. You know, the Bible always tells us that there's more happiness in giving than in receiving. So I could see how giving to others who need something more than you is a means of fulfillment and happiness, bringing happiness to yourself. Well, for me, my parents had very different love languages. Very different. And I knew that from day one. They are very different, like night and day. So for my mother, she was a big quality time person. As I alluded to before, there were parts of my childhood when she was a single parent. And yeah, like most parents raising children around that time who were in a particular socioeconomic bracket, you'd stretch every last dollar. So it was always interesting to me how my mother found the simplest of ways to demonstrate this love language of quality time in the most frugal of ways. So I remember one thing that she used to do pretty often was, when I say pretty often, at least once a quarter, we would take a walk from our house to the main junction and then travel to this park in Tunapuna off of Ozanville Road. And I mean, I had so much fun there swinging on the playing on the merry-go-round and on the swings. And it's those times when she would make sure and spend quality time with each one of us, like just have a heart-to-heart conversation, or when we were making our way back home. And it's simple things like that. Or, dancing with us. Like, I remember her playing music because we didn't have a television back at a particular point during my childhood. And those were some of the happiest years because we got to spend a lot more quality time. And I remember on Sunday evening, she'd turn up the radio pretty loud and just make space in the living room and teach us how to dance. And it was so much fun. So I really, really appreciated that aspect of her parenting. With my father, he was someone who traveled often. So once he took a trip, he would always bring back gifts. And you were sure that you would get one of two gifts. And if you're lucky, if it may be a birthday or something, he'd bring both. So he'd always bring back underwear and he'd always bring back perfume. So, and there were times when he tried to make a trip and not let me know that he's out of the country so that I don't live in expectation of a gift. And it would really sting, that he didn't even make time to go to a store to buy me a pack of underwear.
You were spoiled.
But yeah, and from those gifts actually is what led me to develop my love of really nice perfumes. So I really appreciated the way they demonstrated their love languages.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Great story, yeah?
Mm-hmm. So what are our love languages? So my mom was right on the money because my primary love language is quality time. And just for our listeners who may not be familiar with the 5 love languages, I'll just read out what the 5lovelanguages.com says about this aspect of quality time. In quality time, nothing says I love you like full undivided attention. Being there for this type of person is critical, but really being there with the TV off, fork and knife down, and all chores and tasks on standby makes you feel truly special and loved. Distractions, postponed activities, or the failure to listen can be especially hurtful. Whether it's spending uninterrupted time talking with someone else or doing activities together, you deepen your connection with others through sharing time. And based on the story I just shared, you understand that that's exactly what Mama did.
That's what you enjoy.
I do. So what's your primary love language?
My primary love language, take one guess.
I'll say hugs and kisses.
Actually, that would be no. Actually, my primary love language is quality time.
Really?
Yes, that is my primary. Yes. And my secondary would be physical touch.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that's my secondary love language. So yeah, quality time is good. You don't need much, just that time, sit, relax, relieve the stress, just enjoy each other's company, knowing that, okay, this person took time out just to be with me. That's the best feeling in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that and eating pizza, but we'll go back to that.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
we already admitted that food is very important to us.
Yes,
very
that's
important.
where we bond.
Quality time, eating food. All right. Well, my secondary love language is words of affirmation. And words of affirmation, based on 5lovelanguages.com, involves actions don't always speak louder than words. If this is your love language, unsolicited compliments mean the world to you. Hearing the words I love you are important. Hearing the reasons behind that love sends your spirits skyward. Insults can leave you shattered and are not easily forgotten. You thrive on hearing kind and encouraging words that build you up. And would you say that that's true of me in your experience?
Yes, it is. It is 100% as true as it gets. Yeah. That's you. You love those words of affirmation. Those words make you smile. That's it.
See what I know I was warm with my guess of hugs and kisses because I know physical touch is pretty important to you. So yeah, it is as they say, but I will just read the description for people. A person whose primary love language is physical touch is not surprisingly very touchy. Hugs, pats on the back, and thoughtful touches on the arm, they can all be ways to show excitement, concern, care, and love. Physical presence and accessibility are crucial, while neglect or abuse can be unforgivable and destructive. Appropriate and timely touches communicate warmth, safety, and love to you.
That's right. That is right. That is right. Yes, I really do like the little touches. Doesn't have to be over touched if that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Not too mushy.
Yeah. And pat on the head, rub on the back, tap on the leg, little things that I appreciate those things. They mean the world to me. I appreciate them a lot.
Yeah, because I know you also don't like people touching you. Well, unsolicited touches of affection. Because you could be like, no, back up. I said back up.
Yeah. Don't touch me over you.
Or if you don't know the person or don't like the person.
That's a totally different story. Yeah. It will be like playing tag.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But people, though I mentioned that I found out about love languages while in a relationship, love languages are also important for single persons to get familiar with. And sometimes we're not always in a relationship. I know for sure that during my singlehood, I also spent time feeding my love languages. So, for example, on quality time, I enjoyed solo dates. Yes, I have friends who've seen me out at the movies by myself, taking myself out. Go dinner and a movie. You don't necessarily need company to enjoy that. Enjoy some good food. Have a laugh a day at the theater, or if you're like me and you like dramas or a good biography, you might shed a tear or two. But it feeds my soul. So I don't mind doing that. Or if you wanna be comfortable and cozy in your bed, like we are spending a lot more time doing during this pandemic, cuddle up in your warm, comfy sheets and spend time writing in a journal. Yes, I do keep a journal. And on my secondary love language, words of affirmation, listen to me. I love me some music. No, I can't hold a note or carry a tune to save my life, but that does not mean that I can't sing off key to my favorite tracks, So there are many times when life gets me down, and before COVID and when we could have moved around freely, I would just go driving with a destination. That's what I would call it. And I would get in my car and put on Lauryn Hill, El Boogie, Miss Education of Lauryn Hill, or my favorite girl, India Ahari, and let the voices of these beautiful women feed my soul. Right? So listen, you don't necessarily need someone else to be able to love yourself, right? Show yourself some love.
Well, music does soothe.
Yes. Definitely. All right. So, thing to eat.
Thing to eat.
Yes.
Yes. We were to find out what was your struggle meal growing up?
Okay.
Your favorite struggle meal, that is.
My favorite struggle meal. I reflected Well, I don't know. I have no idea. Well, I would say honestly, I love cheese, so it might just be bread and cheese. Like, you reach home and perhaps mommy didn't cook that day because she was too busy doing other things. So as long as I had cheese in the house and some bread, yeah, bread and cheese.
That's a good one. You can have that anytime. My struggle meal was corned beef and rice. That was the first thing I learned to cook. And it was readily available. It was not too expensive back then, as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just awesome. It's not only a bachelor meal, it's just the almost perfect meal. You have that corned beef, a lot of veggies, white rice, and it goes a long way. It feeds a whole household.
I hear you. But we have Lani up in today's thing to eat because last episode we mentioned that we were going to cook something for the first time, which was chicken palm.
Yes, folks.
And we were supposed to give a report as to how it went.
Let's just say, exquisite. Yes, it was beautiful, folks. It tasted lovely. We did well. But she did most of the cooking this time, so she did well.
Okay.
I did most of the eating this time, so I did very well. So it was nice. It was a lovely, lovely meal for our first time.
Right.
And it probably could give one of the best restaurants competition. I'll have it again. So
Definitely.
Let's just say it will be cooked a lot more often now.
Yes, definitely. It's one of my favorites. Right? And as usual, we need to keep fuel in our tank. So, babe, what has filled your love tank?
My love tank was filled this week, knowing that someone I would call no names has a birthday coming up.
Wow.
And my love tank was filled just by thinking, oh wow, it's so soon, not too far away. And I keep bringing it up and just seeing her playing it off, smiling on the side, just being happy knowing that going to be seeing another year and just thinking of it. I have no idea how to explain it, but it's just great. I am actually happy for someone else's birthday. I have no idea. I'm just excited by this. This has made me very happy. I'm sorry, but it's not my birthday, but I'm happy.
Okay. I think we get into acts of service there because, I don't know, I just have a feeling that he has something special planned for the birthday. So I am trying to manage my emotions. Not get too excited, not ignore it too much. Yeah.
Maybe.
Ooh, wow.
Maybe not.
Wow. So what has filled my love tank is an unexpected visit from, yes, my favorite human, Mr. Joe himself. Getting in that quality time. So yeah, I guess our tanks are well filled, so we can hit the road now, right?
We can hit the road now.
Great.
And folks, update. Beaches are open.
Yeah.
So we literally can hit the road now.
Right. But we're going to hit the road on this episode. As usual, remember to reach out to us at Journey to Forever TT on Instagram. We'd love to hear your feedback, your thoughts. And yeah, if you have taken the love language quiz, feel free to share your primary love language and ways that you fulfill that love language. As always, thanks for listening. Until next time.
Ciao.
Bye.